Afro-Asian Berber or more. But he was very, very instrumental in how they progressed, because you're now dealing with a mixed person, and then you became one of the other rules of Islam is to read the Quran. You can only read it in Arabic, you know. It's deemed to be improper to translate the Quran. These are not mistakes, guys. So they imposed the Arabic language. But our people regrouped, and we talk about the empires of which you are part. But you had the Mali, you had the Songhai, you had Ghana. Okay, I'm not going to go into great detail. And then you had the coming of the Portuguese traders. The Arabs very clearly marked all the areas around us and kept us away from the sea and development and trade. The Portuguese, they didn't come with guns. They came with missionaries. And they came with soldiers to protect the missionaries. There again, they came with, guess what? Another God, another religion. Theirs was the one and only. Everything else was useless and undermined everything. We talk about one of the greatest Africans that the Arab world has made us aware of. His original name was Alik Jarek, aka Mansa Musa. Mansa is the title. And his whole objective was to become the most famous black Muslim. And it's really important because you had a hierarchical structure of Arab, mixed, Arab African, Arab speaking African, and then those who refused to adopt the religion. But then let's fast forward. We have all this. In the middle of, in Central Africa, throughout all this, we had what I think is a real example, and I'm going to use them as an example for us to do that. They're a bunch of, a kingdom was formed of a united group of 18 different displaced tribes. One of those tribes constituted 80% of the population. Some of them constituted as little as 1%. But they decided to form a tribal council of equals. And 342 years later was when they finally fell to the greatest, if not the worst, what do you call it? Massacre of history under King Leopold. 12 million people were slaughtered.
He was an evil bastard.
They were victims of that. But they formed a unity of equals, which had nothing to do with quantity of population. It had to do with common purpose, and the common purpose was survival. Okay? Unfortunately, as time moved on. That was my quick rundown on the past. Where are we today, guys? And it's really, really important where we are today. You got 1.2 to 1.5 million Africans, depending on, billion, I beg your pardon, Africans, depending on which statistic you want to look at. But what's really, really important is that for the next 81 years, the United Nations has projected growth. Do you guys know where we're going to be in the next? There's going to be 4.5 billion Africans by the year 2100. But guess what's most interesting? Today, we have 4.5 billion Asians. The Asian population will peak at 5.2 billion in 2050 and will recede to 5 billion. You guys want an even more startling fact? Europe has a population of 720 million. It has maxed out. Europe is not growing anymore, guys. Europe will, in 2100, have 690 million people. Europe's getting darker, but it's maxed out. North America, South America will kind of flatline. The key issues are, today, the world GDP, as at last year, gross domestic product, was $87 trillion. Total. Africa was good for 2.4 trillion, 3% of the world's GDP, 19% of the population. 2100 will be 40% of the population. If we don't get an intervention point, guys, an intervention moment, we'll still be 3% of the world's GDP. But hey, the Chinese are coveting us. This week we were all in Russia. Desperate Putin invited 40 African leaders. And guess what? It's on his terms, not on ours. So which way forward? What do we do to make ourselves significant? And what examples can we follow? When we were at our peak, during that 500-year period, we had to unify the kingdom. Today, the African Union has been in existence for a long time, but it's done nothing tangible. It recognizes 8 different regional groups, starting with SADC, you've got COMESA, you've got ECOWAS, you've got ECA, ECCA, and you've got the Maghreb states right at the top. In my opinion, and it's a humble opinion, is we need to form regional groups and spend the money 35 times before it leaves our borders, as opposed to the money spending once and it disappears. But that's only half the story. We got 3,000 languages. As the gentleman said, we all have the ability to speak 3 languages minimum. We need African languages that we can communicate. Nigeria doesn't have a language, a common language, apart from Pidgin. I heard guys making a joke, but that's the reality. In Nigeria, they don't have a language. What Mazi was very, very clear on is the fact that he belongs to the Igbo nation. Okay? The world doesn't recognize us, doesn't recognize him as part of a nation. It recognizes him as part of a tribe. And that's only because the people who divided us and made us nations in 1871, 72, were not us. These guys were sitting in the conference room in Berlin, deciding that, hey, we got the River Niger running over there, and yeah, we'll call them the Nigeria, you know. Guys, it made sense to them, not to us. We should break down those boundaries and reconstitute meaningful economic groups. But we should take lessons. And the biggest lesson is we have within every African society structures in place, beginning with family, family council, the tribal group, tribal council, the chief, the chieftainship. Leading up, every African nation has that already. And we elect leaders, we elect kings. Hey, our politicians are rubbish, we know. It's a fact. It's true. It's a fact.
100.
But we're at that inflection point, guys, where we have to do something different. Exactly. And if we don't, we're in deep, deep trouble. I do a lot of work with Google, one of the names mentioned today. I don't know if you guys know what a data center is. The map of data centers, when you look at data center traffic, it's like they forgot Africa exists. But guess what? All of you guys are using WhatsApp. All of you guys are using Facebook. All of you guys are using all those things. They own your data. And guess what? They have a plan. I know the guy who's building out their data center in Africa. We don't own our data. And data will be more valuable than oil. It's ours. We don't own it. We own nothing about this underlying infrastructure. 2 lessons. India today is getting mocked, reclaiming its position in the world. As I said, I was in Silicon Valley, and the one thing that hits you is, goodness gracious me, there's a lot of Indians. I worked with an Indian outsourcer at some stage. We were 260,000 people, and it's 95% Indian. India produces 1.8 million graduates per year, with a very, very clearly structured program of 1.6 million of those being engineering graduates who go into IT. About 5% end up in the first world.